All right. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the NASPA International Education KC FIKA series. My name is Corey Owen. I'm the Dean of Students at Yale and US College in Singapore. And I'm so delighted to have my guest with me, who I've known for many years, and I'm going to have her share a little bit of her story. But before we do that, Andy, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure, thanks, Corey. My name is Andy Meretoja, and I'm currently the Associate Director of the Office of International Students and Scholars at Rice University, but I am originally from Finland.
Thanks so much for joining me today. I was really inspired to bring Andy on here because I've known her for a long time, and our stories have intertwined in such a way that I was like, I feel like this is a really great story to talk about how student affairs can really infuse with our international community in a very lovely way. So, let me set the stage, and then maybe you can share a little bit about your journey. So many, many moons ago, I used to work at Rice University where we had a program that specifically focused on supporting spouses of international community members. So, mostly a lot of grad students, some postdocs, maybe some faculty members, but spouses that often were not working. Some of them had children, but they just didn't have a community of their own. And so there would be like monthly activities that we would do. And this is how I met Andy. So, Andy, tell me a little bit about your experience joining these activities, what it was like to transition to the US as the spouse of an international community member, and what kind of activities and support systems that provided you a sense of community in your transitional time.
No, absolutely. It's just like you said, spouses a lot of times, and I felt this too, didn't necessarily have an easy way of building a network and starting a community because you had left behind all your friends and family when you joined your spouse in the US. And they came here for a specific purpose to either study or do research or what have you. So they were building that network with their study groups and peers and everything. So they had a more, I felt like a more natural way of integrating into the university setting and into the culture because they had a purpose and something to do. And I didn't necessarily have that. I was actually still studying. I was finishing up my master's thesis for my home university back in Finland. I was done with all the courses. I just had the thesis to go. So I did have that goal to complete during my year in Houston, but meeting people and starting to build that network wasn't something that I had a clear path for. And that's where the international office at Rice was really helpful because they did have that program that you were talking about. And it allowed me to, at a really easy, low threshold sort of way, to come to these events and start making friends. And I remember the first friends that I made were in this program of monthly networking lunches for international spouses. And we had a little group of European wives that we got together with, and still we're in touch to this day.
That's amazing. I remember quite a few of these, but I'm curious, which event specifically stood out to you as something like, wow, that for good or bad, it really stuck out as an activity that really bonded you with some of the other spouses.
I remember one time we made Christmas ornaments. I think we made Christmas wreaths specifically. And I think I remember it really well because I have a picture of it. And this picture keeps surfacing on like my memories and things like that. So I keep seeing it every few years, or you will email it to me randomly, like, hey, remember this? And so I remember the Christmas wreath one, probably because mine was horrible and everybody else's was really beautiful, aesthetic, and designy. And I don't have a design sense.
It's funny because I was reflecting on some of the other events that we had put on as part of this program, and one of them was a CPR class, but it included like infant CPR because we had a lot of young mothers, and I remember thinking, wow, these programs are fun because we do things like making reads, but then we have very practical, pragmatic things that people need to know, and it just kind of ran the gamut and built a lot of bonds in ways I think we didn't expect when we started this program.
It's really funny. We actually, so the program still continues. Rice OISS hosts the monthly ladies networking lunches still to this date. And now, as an OISS first a staff member and now associate director, I'm involved in getting to put up this program or put out this program that I used to really benefit from as an international spouse. And one of the goals that I've tried to keep is that even though it's about networking, it's about building community, it's about fun things and activities. We do a lot of crafts, we do cultural presentations and talks. But every year I want to do one that's very topic focused, like an information session. And we still do an emergency scenario one with the Rice Emergency Medical Services, which is a student-led program. And then every now and then we invite RUPD, the Rice University Police Department, to do a safety presentation. Because this is, especially the luncheon program, is very much focused on international women. And as women, I think safety and how to avoid getting into dangerous situations is a really important topic. So we try to balance it out with these fun, really casual crafts and arts and things like that with valuable information sessions that we present in this framework of let's get together and have fun and build community, but also teach you something.
I love that. Well, I know that so many generations of international spouses have really benefited from this program. I know that you are one of them. So I'm so glad to see that the program is still going strong after so many years. Thank you so much, Andy, for your time, your insights, your experiences. I know that others, hopefully, that are looking for other ways to infuse this type of support system can maybe look to you and to the example you've created at Rice University to really develop this further. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure.